Today, we're going to talk about the incredible story of a true medical pioneer. Her work saved countless lives, but honestly, her name has kind of been lost to history. We're talking about Dr. Isabel Kerr and her revolutionary fight against one of humanity's most feared diseases. Okay, let's get into it.
So, to really get a sense of what she accomplished, you have to start with this question. Just imagine for a second. You're a doctor 100 years ago. You're facing a disease that has no cure, your patients are terrified, and you have almost no tools to help them. That's the world Isabel Kerr walked right into.
So, first, let's really set the scene and look at just how massive of an enemy leprosy was back in the early 20th century. Back then, getting diagnosed with leprosy, it was basically a life sentence, a life of suffering and total isolation. There was no standard, reliable cure, nothing. Patients were often just cast out, and doctors, well, they had very few ways to offer any real hope. It was a truly devastating situation. But into this completely hopeless situation steps a doctor with just extraordinary determination. Let's meet the hero of our story. Dr. Isabel Kerr wasn't just any doctor. She was a Scottish physician who made a massive, life-changing decision to move to India, which was really the heart of the crisis, and dedicate her entire life to what was then called the cause of the leper. You know, her obituary from 1932 gives us this really powerful window into why she was so good at what she did. It wasn't just that she was a skilled doctor, it was her incredible devotion. That combination made her so effective, and people loved her for it. It let her connect with patients and earn their trust, which, as you can imagine, was absolutely crucial for this kind of work. So the big question is, how did she and her husband actually go about tackling this disease? Well, it turns out the answer was literally hiding in nature. The key was this stuff called hydrocarpus oil. It's an oil that comes from the seeds of the chalmugra tree. Now, it had actually been used in traditional medicine for centuries, but the way it was applied was all over the place, and honestly, it often didn't work. The real challenge was figuring out how to turn this old folk remedy into a reliable modern medical treatment. Now, a breakthrough like this, it doesn't just happen in a vacuum. Science almost never does. While those old historical remedies didn't have much success, Dr. Kerr and her husband, Ernest Muir, built their work on the foundational research of another scientist named Leonard Rogers. Their unique genius was taking that initial science and piloting a treatment that could finally be standardized and that could be scaled up. So the path to this breakthrough is actually pretty clear when you look at it. It all started with the foundational research from Leonard Rogers. Then came the critical innovation from Kerr and Muir, who created and piloted the practical treatment. And the result of their work? It was incredible. Their method became the new gold standard for treating leprosy across India. It was a total game changer. And as you can probably guess, a massive breakthrough like this, it did not go unnoticed. And their work wasn't just theoretical, stuck in a lab somewhere. They actually established a treatment center in a place called Ditchpully, and it quickly became the epicenter of the modern fight against leprosy. It was a true beacon of hope and a model for everyone else to follow. The impact was just undeniable. Their treatment became the standard all across India, and their life-saving work got official recognition. In 1923, they received one of the highest honors you could get, the Kaiser-i-Hind Medal, which really cemented their incredible contribution to public service. But the story doesn't just end with an award. Isabel Kerr's most powerful impact is a legacy that lived on long after she was gone. I mean, how lasting was it? Get this, in the 1960s, a full 3 decades after Dr. Kerr's death, the home she founded was still a thriving center for care, housing over 400 patients. That's tangible, enduring healing right there in action. Just think about that timeline of her impact for a second. She gets her highest honor in 1923 and she passes away in 1932. But her work didn't stop. Decades later, it was still growing, still going, and still providing critical care for people who desperately needed it. And today, her story isn't lost. The records of her groundbreaking work, her papers, and her husband's are all carefully preserved at the University of Edinburgh. They are a permanent testament to her devotion and to her rightful place in medical history. So really, the story of Dr. Kerr is more than just a piece of history. It's this powerful reminder that progress so often stands on the shoulders of forgotten pioneers. And that leaves us all with a final question to think about. Whose forgotten work, Whose quiet devotion are we all building on today?